What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am Cassie from Anchored by Books, and today I'm going to go over some of the books that I want to read in 2016. So I compiled about 10 books. Some of them are, you'll understand when I get to it. The books I want to read this year is The Disreputable History of Frankie Land Banks by E. Lockhart. This book is about a girl who ends up taking down some kind of all-boys club, and E. Lockhart wrote We Were Liars, which is one of my favorite books of last year. So I want to read something else from her to see if I either just liked that book or I like her writing style. Next is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This book takes place in 1939 in Nazi Germany, and I'm not exactly too sure what this book is about, but I've heard it is heart-wrenching. It is so incredibly sad. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this, and I'm always really interested in learning and reading about Nazi Germany. Next is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This book has had a lot of hype on YouTube. Most people I've heard has given this book like 5 out of 5 stars. So I'm kind of going into this with really high expectations. From what I understand about this book, it's about 2 twins, and they've kind of fallen out of touch. And I think it's taken place in 2 different time periods. One of them takes place when one of the twins is younger, and then one of them takes place when one of the twins is older. So you get like one perspective when they were close, and then the other perspective where they are no longer. So I'm excited to see what all the hype is about this book. The next one is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. All I know is that this is a high fantasy series, and I just want to get to at least the first one this year. It's pretty long, but once again, I've heard nothing but amazing things, and I've heard the magic element in this book is really interesting. Something about metals or something like that, and I have the whole entire trilogy now, so now I can just kind of marathon it, but I want to make sure to get to at least this one this year. I also have The Snow Child by Ewan Ivey. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name. This book, not only is the cover gorgeous, but this book is about a couple who have kind of drifted apart because they can't seem to have a child. So one year they decide to build this snow child, and they come out the next morning outside and the snow child is gone. And then they see her and she has come to life. So I think that's pretty interesting. I had a lady from work actually. We were talking about books one day, and she told me she loved this book, and I think I've seen it maybe a couple of times here on Booktube. But I think this is an adult fiction novel, and adult fiction isn't something that I normally read, so it'd be kind of cool to get out of my comfort zone for a little bit. Another one I want to read is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. This book is chunky. This is a chunky book, but I've heard amazing things about it. I think it's based in World War II in Russia. I think that's what it's about. It's just about a girl who falls in love with this, I think he's a soldier or something. The cover is once again gorgeous, it's so gorgeous. But I want to read more historical fiction novels because last year I only read one, but I absolutely loved it. So I want to read more. This year I also want to read more Colleen Hoover. I have a lot of her books. I have only read 2. Let me take those 2 out. I have read Maybe Someday, which is amazing. I've also read Confess, which I hated. So that gives me 4 more books to choose from that I own. We have November 9, Hopeless, Ugly Love, and Maybe Not. So I want to get to more Colleen Hoover books. Even though it's been a 50-50 shot for me so far, I loved one and hated the other, I still really like her writing style, so I want to see what else she has to offer. And last but not least, I want to read something by Morgan Matson. I have 3 Morgan Matson books. I have more than that. I also have a Katie Finn book, who is also Morgan Matson. So you know. So I have 4 Morgan Matson books. I want to read at least one of them because I have heard her writing style is just immaculate. I've heard her stories are all so fun but sad and heartwarming, and I want to know what it's about. Contemporary isn't one of my favorite genres ever, but I think Morgan Matson is a good person to kind of ease me into the genre. So I'm pretty excited to get into her writing this year. What are some of the books that you guys want to read this year? Let me know. Comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!